I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of The Tag. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course, and we got the two best words in sports. Game 7 is official for Sunday of the NBA Finals. The Pacers win by 17, which is the fourth largest win ever to force a Game 7. So we're going to dive into this Game 6 victory for the Pacers and also what to expect in Game 7 and then the Stanley Cup Final. The Florida Panthers, they go back-to-back, so we'll also get into that and Connor McDavid's future in Edmonton. So before we get into all that in this episode, make sure to subscribe, like this video, comment, hit the notification bell, and also just make sure to share it with everybody you know so everybody can be a part of this conversation, because this has been a very fun NBA Finals. I love the way this series has been. It's just been so back and forth. You know, the Thunder and Pacers are so evenly matched. But after the victory, Tyrese Haliburton, who was a game-time decision with that calf strain, he talked to Lisa Salters after the game about what this team did and also how he's feeling and what the chances are of him getting back to close to 100%. He's probably not gonna for Game 7. So let's take a quick listen, and then we'll come back with my thoughts.
Yeah, we just wanted to protect home court. You know, we didn't want to see these guys celebrate a championship on our home floor, backs against the wall, and we just responded. So many different guys chip in. Total team effort, really proud of this group.
Coming into the game, there were so many questions about your health and that calf strain. Just how were you able to just battle through it tonight?
It's the finals. It's the finals. Like, you know, all of us got to give everything we have. You know, I give everything I have for this group in this locker room. So just trying to come out here and play the best of my ability. My guys have had my back all year, and especially tonight, and that means the world to me.
You looked like yourself. Just how does the leg feel?
It's okay. It's okay. Got a couple days now to take care of it, get it right, and be ready. You know, we got one game. You know, all cards on the table. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Haliburton, I mean, for having a calf strain, he looked pretty good. I mean, the calf, it can really affect your Achilles. I mean, we saw in the 2019 finals when Kevin Durant, he had a calf strain, he came back, and then he tore his Achilles. Now, I was a little bit worried that something like that would have happened to Haliburton, but thankfully not, because when he is on the floor, I mean, this Pacers team just moves the basketball so well. And he was also making an effort on the defensive end. Even though he's not 100%, he still had 2 steals. So, like, Tyrese Haliburton showed up. He was hitting threes. He was penetrating the lane. He was finding guys on the perimeter. And that becomes contagious. And you saw that all game long from the Pacers. The ball movement was just so much better. Because, I mean, in the first half, the Thunder weren't really having much scoring from anybody else outside of Jalen Williams and SGA. Because those two had 31 points combined in the first half. And guess what the rest of the Thunder had? 11 points. So it was very one-sided for the Thunder. And when it came to scoring, I mean, the Pacers dominated this team from the opening tip. Actually, I take that back. Not from the opening tip, because the Pacers missed like their first 8 shots of the game. And then they just somehow caught fire out of nowhere. I was like, oh, this is going to be a dogfight of a Game 7. Pacers have got to show up. But who showed up for the Pacers? It was Obi Toppin. He had 20 points tonight. His second of the playoffs. I mean, this Pacers team, I mean, even TJ McConnell, he had his second game with 4 or more steals. He was everywhere. He's so fun to watch. He's the smallest guy on the court, but he can create his own shot. And he's an amazing playmaker. Amazing. I mean, he almost had a double-double tonight. I mean, TJ McConnell had 9 rebounds for a 6-foot guard. 9 rebounds. Talk about heart and soul. I knew watching this game, I'm like, okay, this is going 7 just based off the first half. Because, I mean, the Pacers were leading by 22 in the first half. And the Thunder were shooting horrible. 9% from the three-point line. I said this after game 4. If you shoot this poorly from the three-point line, there's just no way that you're going to win a game. Now, the Thunder got lucky in game 4 to shoot that bad and win. But you're not going to get away with it 2 times in a row. And then also the Thunder didn't score for 5 straight minutes in the second half. Like, if you're trying to come back, you have to score. You've got to do it. And and in my opinion, I mean, I think, like, the Pacers just wanted this game more. They wanted it more. The sense of urgency for the Thunder after the Pacers went on that 8-0 run in the first quarter, just, it was gone. And then the Pacers took very good care of the basketball. In the first quarter of this game, the Pacers had a big fat donut in the turnover category. 0 turnovers. Like, they had 2 turnovers in the first half. 10 all game. I mean, if you take care of the basketball, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. And you didn't really see contributions from Alex Caruso tonight or any other guys off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They just seemed lost. And then Chet Holmgren really is not helping by shooting these 3-point shots. He's awful from the 3-point line in this series. He's terrible. But that's the entire Thunder team. I mean, it's just so crazy to me that the Thunder are shooting this poorly from the 3-point line. And this is the team that's been considered the best all year. But in this modern NBA, you have to hit 3-point shots. And the Thunder have had 2 games where they haven't shot above 20%. I don't even care if it was a 26% 3-point percentage for the Thunder tonight. I mean, they were bad as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they were horrible. I don't even want to count that 26%. It was that bad. I mean, they only hit 8 threes. 8. I think they only had like 2 threes made in the first half. Or might have been 1 at one point. But I mean, that's what you get. And honestly, like, Shea, I mean, he had his lowest amount of points in the playoffs, or not in the playoffs. He had the lowest amount of points in the finals. The Pacers held him to 21 points. I mean, you're holding SGA to 21. I mean, we haven't seen that since the Denver series. This is very similar to the Denver series. Now, I think this game 7, which we'll get into a little bit later, favors the Thunder a little bit because they're at home. I mean, this Thunder team's a lot different at home. But, I mean, if we look at just, first of all, Game 7, I love Game 7s, first of all. And if we look at recent history, from the last 3 finals that went Game 7, all of those teams that forced the Game 7 won the finals. They won Game 7. 2010 NBA Finals. The Lakers, they won Game 6. And then they won Game 7. 2016 NBA Finals, which is the last one we saw that went 7, which is crazy. 9 years without a Game 7? That's wild. But the Cavs, they won Game 6 and won Game 7. Now, we know they came back down 3-1 as well. But that's kind of nuts if you think about it. And then, oh, wait, I missed one in the middle of 2016 and 2010. The 2013 NBA Finals, the Miami Heat won Game 6, and then they won Game 7. So, basing off history, the last 3 champions won Game 6. I'm just putting it out there. Do what you want to do with that. But, I mean, the Pacers, their bench is just so good. I mean, the Pacers had 48 bench points. 48. And then also one big thing that was huge in this game was the offensive rebounds. The Pacers had 11 offensive rebounds. I mean, they were constantly tipping the ball out on the perimeter, resetting, getting a new 14 seconds on the shot clock. I mean, that's huge. That's really big. And the Pacers defense, this is the best that the Pacers defense has been all series. And this kind of reminded me of the defense they played in Game 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals a little bit. I mean, they were clamping up the Knicks, just like they were clamping up the Thunder. I mean, they held the Thunder to 91 points. That's the least amount of points they've scored all year. I mean, that's nuts to think about. Nuts. And there's no way that the Pacers were going to lose this game. And I honestly, said last podcast, I'm like, look, they're going to win Game 6, but Game 7 is a toss-up. It honestly is. But I mean, if you look at the Thunder's post-loss record for the regular season and playoffs this year, they're 18-2, and they have 12 wins by 10-plus points. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the Pacers showed up tonight. They wanted this game bad, and I'm honestly happy that we get more basketball, but, I mean, the Pacers had this game won in the second half. I mean, they had this one in the second quarter. They did. The Thunder had no life whatsoever. It was honestly shocking because I thought the Thunder may come out with a little bit more urgency saying, yo, we're going to win this game. We don't want to go to Game 7. Even though we would like to win in front of our home fans, we don't want to go to Game 7. And from a superstar like SGA, I mean, he's got to take over. He's got to. But, I mean, we got a Game 7, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm not. We haven't had one in, I didn't even know it was that long. I mean, if you look at the last couple finals, we haven't seen a Game 7. I mean, we've been missing this. We've missed this so much. Now, before we move on to the Stanley Cup final and my thoughts on that as well, I need to make one comment. Just one comment. ESPN's halftime show for the NBA Finals has been awful. Terrible. I mean, it's like 2 minutes of all these guys screaming and yelling stats at me that I can literally look at my box score and tell you. I mean, it's so short. No wonder ESPN is trying to get Inside the NBA to come over there because they need a better halftime show. It's honestly pathetic. It is. And I don't hate any of those guys on that desk. Bob Myers, Malika, Stephen A. Kendrick. I don't have any I don't have any negative things. Stephen A. has some bad takes sometimes, but that's just, I don't have any personal vendettas against any of those people. But I mean, their halftime show just sucks. I mean, it doesn't hook me in. And then by the time I go to the bathroom during the game, I come back, the halftime show is over. And then they come back for 30 seconds with just a VO of Stephen A. screaming about something. And then they go to commercial for the rest of the time. I'm like, you call this a halftime show? I mean, where's the analysis? Where's the breakdowns? We don't get no breakdowns. But that's why I like Inside the NBA so much. Because you get a 10-minute halftime show. You get breakdowns. They don't really break it down. They just tell you the numbers, which any casual fan can pull up their phone nowadays and look at those. I mean, tell me what you see. Tell me why TJ McConnell has been getting 50-50 balls and penetrating in the paint and getting guys open and also creating one-on-one opportunities because he does pass the basketball so much and he's not going to get double-teamed, which makes it easier for him to score. Or tell me how Halliburton is playing. Tell me those things. Why is Chet Holmgren not a factor? Give me those breakdowns. Because I don't want to hear about, oh, blah, blah, blah from 3-point range. I get it. It's important. If it's an important stat, punch it. So I'm all for that. I'm a huge stat guy. So I see that point of view. But I don't want to see, like, you know, what's his field goal? Like, what's he shooting from the field? Unless it's just, like, awful. Or unless he's just, like, really good. If he's shooting, like, 12 of 15, then yeah, say it. But if he's shooting, like, 6 of 13, I mean, no, I don't care. Just tell me what he needs to do better and what the defense is taking away or what he's not doing. Just give me that. Because, like, let's be real. Like, I mean, Stephen A., he's covered the NBA, but he's an analyst, and he's never played the game at an NBA level. So I don't think he should be an analyst. And then Bob Myers, I know he was the GM of the Golden State Warriors. Now, honestly, sitting here, I really don't know his basketball background. I'm sure he knows the game, but I don't think he's played the game at a high level. And then Kendrick Perkins, he's about the only guy on that desk that has played at the NBA level and won a championship. Now, whether he was good, that's a different conversation, but he's still a champion, so I'll give him that. And then obviously the host is not going to have much experience, which I hope to be in that position one day, by the way. If you guys are listening, that's like my dream, is to be a host of like a big-time halftime show. You know, toss these guys and then let them do the work, because I've never played it. The NBA. I didn't play in college. I didn't. I could sit here and tell you what I think about the game, but I'm not going to go here and be like, yep, I'm an analyst. Let me read the box score, because that's just not what I am. I'm an opinionist. I'm an entertainer. That's what Stephen A. is. That's what Bob Myers is. I know he has a little bit more experience as an executive, but that's the role. And I think the halftime show for ESPN is just so short. You don't get enough time to get comfortable, you know, get the feeling of the guys. You just hear guys screaming. But that's all I had to say about that. Just a little bit of a rant about that. But let's go ahead and get into the Stanley Cup Final. Game 6 wrapped up a couple days ago. Panthers, they dominated the Oilers. Sam Reinhart, he had 4 goals. He became the first player since 1957 to have that many in a Cup Final game, which is actually crazy if you think about that. But the Panthers, they go back-to-back. They're the first team to do so since Tampa did it in 2021. And they're also the third team this century to repeat, joining Tampa Bay and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that's pretty impressive. But I think everybody's wondering, again, will they three-peat? Well, it's hard to three-peat in sports. We haven't seen a three-peat just in sports in general in America since the Lakers did it, like 20, I think, was it 22 years ago now? Something like that. We haven't seen it in a long time. And it's hard to do. In hockey, they haven't had a three-peat champion since 1983. The New York Islanders. And there's only been 3 teams in NHL history have done it. The Islanders, Maple Leafs, and Canadiens. Now, I think the Panthers can do it. It just depends if they can keep certain pieces. Can they keep Sam Bennett? He is a free agent. Can they keep Brad Marchand? He is a free agent. Does he want to come back? He's a little bit older. He's in the back end of his career for sure. Does he want to make another run at it? I think that's going to be the key, because Sam Bennett won Conn Smythe MVP, so you have to bring him back. And I'm sure he's going to want to come back, but you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. He had 15 goals in this Stanley Cup Final for the whole entire playoffs. He led the playoffs in that statistic. 5 of them were in the Stanley Cup Final. So, I mean, the Panthers, they got to figure that out. They got to keep this roster together and also keep building depth around this team and keep this core together. That's what you got to do. And where's Bobrovsky at? He's getting a little bit older. Does he have one more run in him? And I know they're calling themselves a dynasty, but like they're not a dynasty yet. 3 definitely makes you a dynasty, in my opinion, but 2 doesn't. 2 just makes you an all-time great team. That's all it does. That's all it does for you. But there's been a lot of speculation since this game. Where's Connor McDavid going to go? What's he going to do? He's got 1 year left on his contract, and I'm absolutely heartbroken that this man didn't get a ring. I'm just so upset. But I also wish he scored more goals, man. Like, he could have scored. Like, he had 1 goal this entire series with 6 assists, which I get 7 points is a lot for these hockey fans out there. But, like, I mean, come on. You got to score more goals. Take over games. And I feel like sometimes he's just kind of been sliding the puck in there, hoping it magically goes in. You can't do things like that. Like, there were multiple shots, more creativity. Lift the puck up. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, hockey fans. I'm not a crazy hockey guy by any means, but tell me if he could have lifted the puck up a little bit more and he would have had more goals, because I think that would have been a thing. But, you know, I don't know. And he's got 1 year left on his deal. And he talked about just him thinking about, you know, what he's going to do after this season. And we're going to hear from Connor McDavid real quick, and then we're going to get back to the pod.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple of days since the season ended. You know, take some time to regroup, you know, talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes. But there's no rush on anything like that.
So no rush. Okay, well, that's interesting. Now, he is from Canada, so, like, me personally, I think McDavid's going to give it a go. I think he's going to play out his contract. I don't think he's going to resign because he's eligible for an extension July 1st. I don't think he's going to resign. But I think they'll give it one more try because, to be fair, I think the Oilers were injured going into this series. They didn't even have Zach Hyman, who's another huge offensive piece for the Oilers. So I think you run it back. Now, the thing is, what do you do at goalie? Because, I don't know, Stuart Skinner is a weird playoff goalie. He seems to have a lot of games where he's really good, and then he's like, okay, he gets lit up. And he's also on the last year of his contract as well. So, like, do you run it back? I think you run it back and try to add some more pieces around McDavid and try to get some more depth. But, I mean, because the Oilers, I don't think the Oilers are just going to let him go in free agency. Because if the Oilers think, if McDavid's going to leave, it's not going to be after his contract's up. It's going to be this offseason. He's going to get traded because the Oilers are probably going to want to get something for him. They don't just want to get nothing for Connor McDavid. You can't come up empty-handed for a player of this caliber. He's the best player in the league by far. But, I mean, you have to get something for him. That's where I'm kind of looking at. But, I mean, Bleacher Report made this list. It was like way too early landing spots for Connor McDavid. And they had 7 teams, including the Oilers. They had the Maple Leafs, Rangers, Golden Knights, Penguins, Blackhawks, Bruins. Now, I think there's 2 teams that you can take off that list right away. Blackhawks and Bruins. He's not going to those 2 teams. The Blackhawks suck, and the Bruins are rebuilding. They're not gonna. He's not going to those 2 teams. Now the Maple Leafs, that makes sense, but I don't think that would ever happen in a trade because the Oilers are going to try to get somebody back. I mean, they could. If the Oilers are going to trade Connor McDavid, they could easily ask for a player like Austin Matthews. Easily, I mean, they could. And what better? How much better is that going to make Connor McDavid's chances to win a cup? I don't know how much better it makes, honestly. But then you've got the Golden Knights. I kind of like that move. They have a core that's solid, and if you put him in there, I think they're good. But they're going to have to trade pieces. And then the Penguins, that one kind of makes the most sense out of all these teams on here. Because Sidney Crosby, he's at the end of his career. He's getting older. You pair him up with a superstar like McDavid, you're going all in to get Crosby one more ring. You're trying to get him one more ring. That's it. That's it. And I think that makes a lot of sense. The New York Rangers make sense too. They're a little bit younger. He could come in there and fit in right away. They also have a good goalie. That does help. Having Igor Shesterkin, that helps a lot to have a guy like that. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to leave, but I hate that he didn't win this ring. I just hate it for him. He's such a great player, and he just ran into such a great team. Now, let's go into this week's Play of the Week. Now, we're going to go back to the finals, and we're going to talk about Pascal Siakam's dunk on Jalen Williams. It was an absolute facial. It was crazy. If you watch this game, you saw how good this dunk was. But for those who missed it, here's what it sounded like in Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana.
So good. Jalen Williams, 16 points, throws it away. Halliburton comes up with it. Cross court, Siakam for the slam. Siakam falling away, puts it in at the buzzer. Facing elimination, the Indiana Pacers with a dominant first half. Outscore them 36-17 here in the second quarter. Great balanced scoring, terrific defense. And doing it on both ends.
And just the steal. Tyrese Halliburton doing it again. Don't call the medic, call the morgue. Having fun out there, smiling. Look at him, left hand, talking to him. It's a family atmosphere in here, Mike.
That was actually a good line, Richard Jefferson. Shout out. And Mike Breen's just such a good play-by-play. I mean, I would sit here and say Mike Breen's probably the greatest play-by-play announcer ever, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that take. But I mean, Siakam, he had his second double-double of this finals. He hit a buzzer beater at the end of the first half. That dunk was nuts. Pascal Siakam, if the Pacers want to win Game 7, he's going to have an historic game. He's going to have to go for 30. And the Pacers have gotten one in OKC. They know they can get one. That's where I'm kind of looking at in this Game 7 is like, okay, like, you know, the Thunder are great at home, right? They're 10-2 this postseason at home. They're just a different team. And the Pacers have been good on the road this year, though. That's the thing. And the underdog thing, I don't know. I'm starting to convince myself a little bit that the Pacers could win Game 7 because there's just so much pressure on OKC to win this game. I feel like I don't know if it's just me, but like, I mean, I feel like there's more pressure on the Thunder to win than the Pacers to lose. Like I don't think there's much pressure on the Pacers to win this game, and that's for a Game 7. Like, it might be a crazy take, but, like, there's not a lot of pressure for the Pacers to win because no one expects them to win. I mean, I'm sticking with my pick with minus 345 money line for the Thunder to win because I said in the last podcast that they were going to take Game 7. But like I said, it's going to be a coin toss. But the Pacers could definitely win. They could. They definitely could. And especially Halliburton's getting like 2 full days of rest. And he's going to be better. I mean, he basically didn't play the entire fourth quarter. He basically, he didn't even play most of the second half because the Pacers were winning by so much. That was huge for the Pacers. That's why I'm kind of looking and saying maybe the Pacers can get this one. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. I really wouldn't be. If the Pacers can play good defense, rebound the basketball, and Halliburton just keep dishing it to everybody, I mean, they really could. And then the Pacers just need one guy off their bench to go off. Whether that's McConnell, Obi Toppin. I mean, I think Shepherd is bound to have a game where he goes off. He was hitting some shots. I don't know. And Miles Turner, maybe he has a game where he plays better. And I feel like Miles Turner, man, in Game 7, he needs to be more physical with Chet Holmgren. You cannot let Chet Holmgren body you. You just can't. You can't let him affect. Just give Miles Turner the ball on the block and have him post up Chet. I think Miles Turner would eat Chet. He would. Chet's not that strong. Miles Turner is a bigger body. And I feel like Miles Turner's just been playing on the perimeter so much. He's got to get... Miles Turner is the key to the Pacers winning Game 7. Mark my words right here. If Miles Turner plays bad and doesn't rebound and doesn't have a big impact on the defensive end, the Pacers lose this game. But if he does those things I just mentioned, the Pacers win. And the Thunder have to have somebody off the bench. That's not Alex Caruso score the ball. Wiggins, get Aaron Wiggins. Isaiah Joe. Do we have an Isaiah Joe game where he hits a bunch of threes? Where's Hartenstein? He needs to score a little bit more. Chet Holmgren has to score the basketball. J-Dub, I don't expect J-Dub to have 40 like he did in Game 6 because that was a clinic. I don't expect Shea and J-Dub to have 71 combined points in Game 7 like they did in Game 5. I'm just not expecting that. I'm just not. 40 points in Game 5, great. But he's not going to get it in Game 7. I just don't think so. It's got Game 7, I'm sticking with the Thunder just because they're at home. That is literally my only reason. But, I mean, the Pacers can do this. They can do this. And I'll be cheering for them, honestly. Like, I think it'd be a great story. You know, I'm from Indiana, so, like, it kind of, even though I'm not a Pacers fan, it kind of hits home for me if they win. It really does. Like, it really does. And this fan base deserves it. Growing up in Indiana, you know, playing basketball the majority of my childhood, that is life there. Basketball is life. I mean, the entire state will show up to that parade. That entire state will show up to the parade. They will. They will. And one more stat before we get you guys out of here. Teams forcing Game 7 are 9-10 all time in the NBA Finals. And this is the 20th Game 7 ever. So, I mean, will the Pacers make it 10-10 all time for teams who force the Game 7? Or will the Thunder make it 9-11? We'll find out on Sunday. Oh, man. Let me know who you guys got winning this Game 7 in the comments. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. This is going to be the game of the life. This is going to be the game of the year. This is it. SGA said it when they had him mic'd up. One game for all the marbles. The two best words in sports. Game 7. Now, I'm your host, Jackson Burleson. Thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of The Take. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, comment who you guys got winning Game 7, and share this podcast so everyone can hear what I got to say and be a part of this conversation before Game 7. We will have a podcast after Game 7 as well, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But I'm Jackson Burleson, and you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whenever you're listening to this, and enjoy Game 7. We'll see you after that. Peace.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Railway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my